Hello, hello. Welcome to Beyond ADHD, a physician's perspective. I am Dr. Diana Mercado-Marmarosh. I'm a family medicine physician practicing in rural Texas. I used to be hindered by my ADHD, but I now see it as a gift that helps me show up as the person I was always meant to be, both in my work and in my personal life. In the past 2 years, I've come to realize that unlearning some of my beliefs and some of my habits were just as important as learning the new set of skills.
Hello, I am so excited to be here with you today. I had a couple of interesting weeks. I went to Costa Rica to celebrate my 11-year anniversary. And actually, we went for a honeymoon to Costa Rica as well. So we decided it was probably time to go right now that we have a little break from COVID. And, I was like, we just need to go before there's a new pandemic like Monkeypox or something, right? And I booked the trip like maybe a month before we went. And, that's just so ADHD, right? We're kind of impulsive sometimes, but sometimes those are the best decisions that we can make. Like, life is too short. You got to make sure that you are living in alignment with what you think is important to you. And so I wanted to talk about this week about how ADHD can be your superpower, how you don't let things kind of slow you down or get you in the way, even though life throws you some curveballs. So I was hiking. All of a sudden I hear clunk. We were climbing the Ariana volcano, and I looked behind me, and half of the hiking boots had fallen off. And my tour guide asked me, "¿Te la juegas?" which means, are you gonna keep going? Are you gonna play for it, or are you out? Are you done basically for the trip, right? And so that question, "Te la juegas?" kind of like woke something in me. It was such a quick question, right? It's funny how one question can change everything. "Te la juegas" can be taken in many different ways. It can be taken like, are you all in? Are you ready to play? Right? And so maybe some people would have said, well, oh, I just have one boot, like I can't keep going, right? But the bottom of the sole still had something. The other part just fell off. And so you know what? I told him, sí, me la juego, which means like, yeah, I'm going to roll with it. Let's see what happens. And so what happened was that I kept walking, and 200 meters later, clunk, you hear the other part of the boot fall off. And maybe some people would have thought this is the worst thing ever, right? But to me, like, I couldn't help but laugh. Like, I found myself in a situation that was so typical for me. It just seems like first thing happened to me. For some people, it might be paralyzing, but for me, I didn't make it mean a thing. The thoughts that were going through my mind were, my ancestors probably climbed the same volcano barefooted. I'm sure I'll be okay. So our thoughts really make a difference on how we show up with the world. Like, maybe some person could have thought like, oh my God, this is horrible. This is the end of the world. But to me, I just kept thinking, this is another day in Diana's life. Like, not a big deal. And I just kept going. I finished the rest of the hike. I think it was another 40 minutes. And I just kept telling myself, hey, the universe just wants to give me a foot massage. The floor is lava. It was just so interesting to be walking on previous like lava rocks, right? And it just tells you that sometimes life just happens, right? And so at the end of the excursion, I asked the tour guide, "Hey, has this ever happened for you before? Like, have people lost the whole bottom of their shoes before?" And he said, "No, this is the first time this has happened in the last 15 years." And, I was actually there with my friend Christina and her husband on this trip. And we were just laughing because my husband's like typical of Diana, like some first time always happens, right? And so I remember when we went, it was prior to kids, we went to a place in Australia, and I think it was called Canes or something like that. And it's supposed to be like the place to go and jump in and scuba dive. My husband already had the scuba dive like certificate. I went through the course right there and then. And when it was my turn to actually apply what I had learned and go down, I couldn't do it. Like my brain was just telling me that it was going to be one too many directions for me to follow. I was panicking. I just could not see myself going underwater with like this oxygen. And it's so funny because like how many times do we do different things that are not so scary for other people, but we still do them, right? But our brain is always trying to protect us in one way or another. And so yeah, I asked that same instructor how many people had like come all the way out here and did not go down, and he said not many. And when I was trying to learn how to ski down the mountain in Denver, I was doing a group learning activity, and I was one of maybe the only one who went down the slide, meaning I slid down the mountain like in the parking lot, like in the opposite end of where I shouldn't be going down to be training. So things just happened to me. And the instructor is like, I think Diana needs like one-on-one sessions. She does not need a group. She needs her own private instructor. And guess what? The next day I paid for my own private instructor. And I got a little bit, I got the gist of it. I learned to do some but when I was going through the motions, the guy's like, "Okay, you need to get off the cliff, like you need to get off." And I was like, I just stayed on there, and he got off, and he's like, "Oh my God, what is this lady doing?" Right? And so it's just funny how sometimes the brain try to protect us, or we try to avoid the things that are going to get us in trouble, and we still do it despite. So why am I talking about all this? Because, today I am at a conference where I'm part of a group that is a retreat where they teach you how to level up or how to practice medicine in your own terms, and how to serve and how to earn and how to create legacy for yourself, right? And we were given a cupcake that said happy 90th birthday. And we're looking around the room because, it's all physicians in there, and nobody is close to 90 in that room, right? And it was an exercise. It was an exercise that said, what would people say at your 90th birthday? Like, what would they say about you, right? And I'm pretty sure most of us had done this type of exercise. Like if you were at your funeral, like what would people say about you? But the 90-year-old birthday celebration seemed like a more happier place because you're still kind of alive, right? So I described my birthday as probably taking place on one of those cruises, where you're 6 months out. And it's perfect scenario because you have a doctor on board who's taking care of you. Somebody's cleaning your room, right? You're getting off on all these different ports all around the world, and you're being fed like amazing food. And there's probably activities. I'm pretty sure they're probably gonna make us go to sleep kind of early, but that's okay. Like, I would rather be on a 6-month floating cruise all around the world than be somewhere like on a nursing home or something, right? Why am I saying this? Because we don't know how many years we have left to live, right? It could be 1, it could be 10, it could be 40. We have no idea. And so you need to decide what kind of life you want to have in order to start working towards it. And she gave us like different categories for us to decide, like, what would they say about us? Like, what would family say about you? What would, like, what would you have accomplished and all these things, right? And so to me, what came to mind was that it's something that people tell me all the time. If we don't know you any better, we would think you're taking something because you have so much energy. You do all kinds of things. You're the healer to everybody. You like to listen. And then you like to disrupt shit that is not working. And, I really think that I came into this world to share my story and to hear other people's stories and to find the amazingness in it and to collaborate together to make that happen. So today I was listening to somebody say that it's okay to sometimes not do the things that you think you wanted, because sometimes better things come your way. And it's just so interesting how what we think might be, something hard might be something not that hard because something better is coming your way. Why am I sharing all this? Well, I guess I'm in an inspiration type of scenario. I'm looking, we're in October. We're starting the last quarter, how you say it, right? The last 90 days of this year. And I'm wondering whether you have met all the goals that you wanted this year, right? And last year when I came to this retreat, we had a similar projection forward saying that, writing out the date, like, December 3rd or December, whatever, 2022, like, what would you have met? What would you have accomplished? And I looked at my journal of what I wrote last year, what I wanted, and I wanted to have a long-term nanny and a housekeeper. I still don't have those two things. But I wanted to also have date night with my hubby once a week, and that is actually working. So, and I wanted to have more quality time, and that is also working. And in terms of like my personal development that I wanted to do, it was starting a podcast or YouTube channel, which I am doing that. And in terms of fun, I wanted to have dances, and I wanted to learn how to do like Zumba or Samba. I already know Zumba, but I wanted to do Samba, right? And so one of my amazing physician friends is actually teaching me to do that. So yes, I also wanted to schedule my massages, and I am doing that. And I wanted to paint more with my kids, and I am doing that too. And in terms of my business, I wanted to make an impact. Like, I wanted to earn at least $1,000, right? $100,000. And yeah, I'm doing that too. And so why am I sharing this? Why am I saying all of this? Well, you need to write stuff down that you want. If you don't write it down, you will not focus on it. The universe is not going to match your vibration. You need to figure out whether what you're currently doing is important or not. And the systems that got you here, are they going to take you there? And you need to realize that in order for us to grow as a person, you need to have a network. You need to be in a community where people are growing themselves. And that takes sometimes investment in money, sometimes investment in time. That maybe takes a commitment to saying no to things that are maybe draining you. And you need to have this talk with yourself. Like, what would your wiser self tell you? Like, if you make a baby decision, like those baby decisions add up. Like, they can really be the difference between who you marry or who you don't, whether you are healthy in terms of exercising or not, whether you move to one place or another, whether you start your own business, or whether you write a book, or you go on a limb and go on vacation, and plan it in 1 month out. You get to decide what type of impact you want to have in the world. And so choosing you is important. You have the last 90 days. If you feel like maybe you need some help in getting you to where you're going and you don't know where to start, reach out. I'm here. Come to my group. If you're a healthcare professional, I can totally get you there. Whether it's going home by 3 o'clock, whether it's coming to my retreat in Costa Rica, whatever it is, reach out if you have some, opportunity where you want me to come and speak to your residents, or come and speak to your society or network event or whatever. Like, let me know. So this is where I'm at today. I am in the reflection mode. I am in the, what is my goal next year? What am I dreaming up? What am I going to do the last 90 days? And how do I continue to prioritize and plan for myself, right? And for others. And realizing that, the baby steps, they add up. And it's in that repetition that our habits become our life. So do decide that you're the most important person in the room, that refilling your cup is important, and that you are one unique you. There's nobody like you. And that's amazing. And we want to share any of your stories. If you know somebody who you think I should interview that could highlight any of our ADHD qualities, please let them know. Please bring them over. We all need to help each other thrive.
Thank you for spending your time with me. I really believe that time is our most valuable asset. Please subscribe to the podcast, share with your colleagues, and don't forget to check out my website at adhd-lifecoach.com, where you can find out about my upcoming coaching group classes, as well as free master classes and other exciting events that are happening.